in herself. You don't see her chunking up a bunch of jump shots. She's breaking down her defender off of the rip and then showing also control and dominance around the rim.
13 points, 5 of 11 from the floor, and 3 for 4 at the free throw line, and that's north of her typical clip at 68%. Missouri has had a dominant performance thanks to Randall. There's been a lot of different players contributing in this one. And of course, we've talked several times about Judd and Slaughter, but Randall has really taken the cake here in quarter number 3. Again, it's for Coach Pinchton finding ways to keep everybody involved, keep everybody engaged. And I think as Missouri continues to widen this lead, we're going to see more depth from the bench taking the floor, including the first looks here for the sophomore out of Berlin, Hika Federape. And also not to mention Tilda Shokovist from Husqvarna Sweden. And the inbound for Crocky. Shrek's 3. It's beyond the reach of Federape. Great time here for development. And Mark, you were talking before the game, you talked about as your time as a coach, and what does it mean for some of the players that typically don't get a ton of minutes to have an opportunity here to get some Division I action?
Yeah, this is your opportunity to show your discipline and show off what you're capable of doing as well. And so don't anticipate Mizzou taking their foot off the pedal right now. They want to come in and maintain this lead and show that they can be trusted with the minutes they're distributing.
8 to shoot, and Stonebreaker floats it home. Stonebreaker, well, with all 8 points out of the bench here for NIU, or I should say currently players on the floor.
And that might be an opportunity as well. Stonebreaker getting some additional looks. If you take a look at the lineup right now for Mizzou, it's not as big as it was.
Federape with the left hand. Talk about the left hand from Slaughter. That was a nice roll there for Federape.
Spin to a finish.
Linthicum. Great defense. Stonebreaker back up and secured by Federape. What's going through the mind of both these coaches in a game that's maybe kind of gotten out of hand and this late? It's going to take something more than a miracle for a comeback for NIU, but is it just all about trying to empty out the bench, or is there stuff for some of the higher in the depth chart to work on?
Well, you definitely want to give other players an opportunity to play, but you're still looking for discipline here, right? You don't want to start practicing bad habits, and so they're looking for discipline. Whether you're up by much or you're down by much, you got to stay consistent and disciplined.
This is Crocky, coast to coast. Takes a spill, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, that foul on Dawkins there. Hit her with the lower body as she contested the shot.
12 of 15 today for Missouri, 69%. Well, Northern Illinois, 64% on the season. They're 2 for 2 from the line.
Yeah, Mizzou with 13 more attempts than NIU, and there's something to be said there as well. Mizzou being aggressive, obviously, and getting to the free throw line is something NIU wants to do a bit more of.
And you would think it might be the opposite way with Missouri's defensive ability, but it just goes to show discipline, which still, even with the bench coming out here onto the floor, is very important, and that's what Coach Pinchton is looking for right now, and try to continue to even add more depth.
I mean, even with the lead that they have, you can still hear a defensive team, right? You can see a good offensive team, but you can hear a good defensive team with their communication. They're not trying to get every steal. They're not trying to get every block. They're just trying to make it tough and make players do things out of character.
Yeah, and Linthicum right now has just been an absolute force underneath the basket. Her defense has looked really good. Now sets the screen with Schreck. And they dot the I. Here goes Kroenke. Jokovist. It was short. I think the crowd would have loved that one for the junior.
And Sjokvist from Sweden, she has a ton of experience from an all-star, Nordic champion, won a gold medal. She's played on the U16, U18 national teams for Sweden as well, and she can really shoot the ball.
A foul down low, but to continue your point, one of 4 transfers in the offseason here for Coach Pinchton, who have combined for 236 games of collegiate experience. And now as we get past the pandemic, 2024, 2025, we're going to start seeing some of these players that came in with that COVID year of eligibility. That's starting to go away, but the experience is still there. And there's great opportunities in the transfer portal to even add more depth to your roster.
Yeah, Coach Pinchton taking full advantage of that transfer portal, and it helps. It helps with the locker room. It helps with the culture, just maturity as well. So we take a look at this graphic here with incoming transfers. You got Randall, Sjokvist, Wilson, and Heron, all transferring with great experience and talent.
1 for 2 at the free throw line with Sarah Cana, the Mercer transfer from Sabadell, Spain. Mila Brown getting some more minutes. 10 to shoot, guarded by Doyle. There's a 3 that misses to the right. With NIU trying to build off of something here in the fourth. This a 4-3 advantage for Missouri. A little bit of a scoreless drought going on here, approaching 4 minutes.
Yeah, you asked earlier, what do you do in this situation when you're down by a lot? You want to try to chip away at that lead by running your offense and finding high percentage shots.
Of course, then seeing some of the unsung heroes get involved is always a fan favorite. And here goes Sjokvist down the alley with the left hand.
Sjokvist, as I said, she has the experience. She can be a bucket when needed, and she's played in a lot of big basketball games.
Now look at the communication there from Linthicum, and maybe channeled the voice a little too much as she sends Stonebreaker to the floor.
That was a legit foul that happened right in front of us. So an outstanding call by the officials, but Stonebreaker also did a phenomenal job selling that to make sure to help the officials see it, so to speak.
Little shimmy shake here for Nickel. And to the corner, Carlson. That's a set play they drew up off the inbound, and Missouri takes back over thanks to the Kroenke rebound. Fedrapa giving some trouble. Fedrapa's pass. Well, for Kroenke, won't go. Oh, left-hand drive. Blumenfeld all the way down.
Blumenfeld with a great finish, but even more impressive with the outstanding feed. She only had to catch and go up. Those are the entry passes you want to make.
Oh, great ball movement. They find Brown, and she sinks the triple. 86-51 as the Tigers pour in another tray. 50% from beyond the arc today is Missouri, 12 of 24, Markey.
Maya just chipping in on that three-point bucket, but I love her game. She plays with so much poise and sureness.
Timeout, Coach Pinchton. We got subs coming in. After the break here in the fourth quarter, 3:42 to go. Rejoin us here from Columbia, Missouri at Mizzou Arena on the SEC Network. ESPN Plus is now on Disney Plus, where you can catch all your favorite content. And speaking of some favorite content, how about Mizzou volleyball on a roll last night with the win over number 2 seed SMU 3-1. The Tigers this week 2-0 between women's basketball and volleyball against SMU. They advanced to the first regional semifinals since 2017. And up next, they take on Kentucky in Pittsburgh in the semis. That's pretty exciting stuff here for Mizzou volleyball as they have turned things around over the last couple seasons and starting to take a look here at what Mizzou women's basketball is doing, turning things around.
Yeah, that was a major win for Mizzou volleyball, and they'll play in a big-time game next week. But that game versus SMU women's basketball, that was a great game. And I think we got to see Mizzou play ahead in a close game and stay ahead, which speaks lots of maturity.
Tiana Heron checks in. Sophomore out of DeSoto, Texas. Transfer from UT. And that three from Oliphant. Didn't have enough on it. It's great to see Heron back out there because she's dealt with some trouble off the court.
Yeah, she's had 2 heart surgeries, and one of those was actually just last year as she picks up a foul. But they anticipate her being a major part of this offensive and defensive program, knowing what she's capable of doing. But they understand that it'll be a process. Over the last 2 years, she hasn't had an opportunity to play consistently because of that, and so she's just getting back into it.
And Coach Pinchton wants a word with Heron. You really like to see this because this is the starters getting the job done, creating such a large lead that now players like Heron can get some playing time as well as Oliphant and all the rest of the way. Not to mention Fed Rape and Shokovist, but like you said, Heron a big part of the future here for Missouri and some much needed playing time to get some experience on the court.
Yeah, and an opportunity to build that endurance as well. There's no way to get in basketball shape except for to play basketball. It's the most unique sport and what it requires physically. And so playing more, getting more reps is definitely going to help with that.
When you talk about the reps, the amount of shots that it takes just to be able to have that muscle memory, I can't even imagine. I'm not disciplined enough to have to do it. Of course, you did because you played in college and also professionally. And
listen, one thing I don't miss is the conditioning. I'll tell you that. But fun days, awesome experiences. I wouldn't trade for anything.
Stopped for me in 8th grade when the coach said, take this basketball home, sit on the couch and dribble it. I said, no thanks.
Well, you make a heck of a broadcaster if that means anything.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Heron, off the window.
And that's something she brings to the bigs, the inside presence, and she's able to extend the defense and also knock down that 15 to 17 footer.
Oh, too strong on the pass and picked up by Oliphant. Pitches for Fed Rape. Other end for the three, and it's an air ball. There you see Delilah Brown now waiting the inbound here. Right hand for Sarah Kata. Another Sarah Conta. And we'll have free throws upcoming here for Maddie Faye.
Faye has made her presence felt defensively as well as offensively, just on the glass. You see her muscling it up through contact. Still giving NIU some good minutes.
Free throws have been lacking here for NIU, both in quantity and quality. That's 2 misses, and just the 8th time that they've even had a look. They've just made 3 of 8. Look at this hustle play. Create an opportunity for Oliphant. Fighting for the rebound, and but Rappe kicks it corner. Brown!
Big bucket by Brown. As Blatcher.
And Missouri across the 90-point threshold.
Oliphant may have landed on Blatcher a little awkwardly and twisted that knee, but she's back up and running.
And now she gets the steal. Brown puts it in drive. 6 points, a rebound, and at least a steal to finish her afternoon here in Columbia. Missouri sits to improve to 9-3 and do something that hasn't been done except for one other time this year. And Brown nails another one. And what exactly is the thing the Tigers have done? And that is hold NIU to less than 40% shooting from beyond the arc. So 7 points on the clock. And Missouri will hand Northern Illinois its 4th loss of the season. They will now be 0-20 against SEC opponents. As the Tigers improve to 9-3. Robin Pinchton picks up win number 244. And your Missouri Tigers are winners big here against Northern Illinois from the MAC, where they are 13-2 all time against MAC opponents. And the good vibes continue to roll here for Missouri. Your final thoughts here, Marky.
Celebration to NIU. They came to Columbia to compete, and unfortunately the ball just didn't fall in their favor. But credit to Mizzou. They also came out to compete, and this time on both ends of the floor defensively, just being a menace, and then offensively shooting the ball at 50%, which was outstanding.
Good times continue to roll here for Robin Pinchton. And it was a fantastic afternoon here in Columbia, Missouri. For all of us here at the SEC Network, for Marky Freeman, I'm James Stanley saying so long from Columbia, where the final score was Missouri 94, Northern Illinois 55, and we'll see you next time.